Here, I think, should we? I have 2 minutes to kill?
That's not good.
Okay. Thanksgiving on the Mayflower. Kat is down in Federal Way. She's living on top of the truck in the tent because we're trying to generate food for the Northwest Harvest Food Bank. So Kat, give it up for Northwest Harvest! Woo! So that's what's going on. So that's why Kat's not here. It's just Molly and I. So sorry about that. And, are you guys excited? Okay. I believe they're coming up in the elevator right now. It'll be very ceremonious. They just come walking right in. My lookout is Tyler, who's right behind you. When you drive home in the afternoon, you hear Tyler. There he is, right there. Everybody turn around. Look at Tyler. There's Tyler right there. Yes. Molly, is there anything you want to say?
I drank too much coffee.
Like all jittery? Beth drove here from Portland.
Really?
This morning.
Wow. That's amazing.
I'd be the part of this. I would go from Bellingham.
I don't even think she knows where her kids are. She's just like, come out of here, man. Are the kids in Portland? You just dropped them off at school and are you going to be racing back before school is out? They'll figure it out, she says. Good. Okay. On this side, you guys are good? Look at But she's not paying attention. She's looking at the elevator. What's your name? Brianna? Brianna, you're my lookout. Because Brianna's like, while we're talking to Brianna, she's like this. Taking a look at the elevator. It's cool. It's a long 2 minutes, Tyler. By the way, did anybody actually see the dude walk? Oh, no, you didn't. Never mind. Did you see the guy walking around the roof? He was literally walking around the roof on the other side of the wires. Yeah, to do whatever he was doing. Yeah. Dude, look at the gear on Dave. Hey, by the way, everybody congratulate Dave Conger. He just had a baby. Hey, what? Oh, well, fine. Semantics. His wife had the baby.
That is not semantics. That's a very big difference.
Wow. Brianna, how we doing? No sign of him yet? You mentioned this was one big just giant gotcha. We just brought you here. There's really nothing going on. Oh my God. Really?
Jason's the big celebrity.
What's your name?
Right now.
It's what? Amanda goes, that's cool. I just met Jason Mesnick. I'm totally fine. My day is filled. So Beth is here from Portland. Amanda just met Jason. And Brianna's keeping an eye on the door for us. We're waiting for them. Where did they get stuck? It's a straight shot.
They're taking the stairs.
Ben took the stairs on that whole thing. Are we here? Do you guys have anything that you want to know specifically? You have no, I didn't prep, so I'm hoping that you guys have some questions. Look at the look of pure,
I don't know, you do it.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Favorite ice cream flavor? Do you really care? Really?
I do.
Okay.
All right, hey, I have been just told Justin Bieber tickets. We will have them at 3 o'clock this afternoon with Tyler. Okay, you guys don't pretend that you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. All right, cool. Later today, we'll be like, oh my God, what did he say? 3 o'clock? Bieber? Who tried to get pre-sale tickets, by the way? You all lied. Look at Brianna, we good? Brianna, are they here? Because I can't see the elevator.
She won't take her eyes away to answer you.
Brianna, let us know when they're coming walking around the corner. Let me know when to do the official introduction. Because an entire crew just got off the elevator.
Yeah.
Are they still not here? They're still not here.
We're in the fast lane.
Wow, dude. Okay. So let me ask you, does anybody have any questions for Molly? Any questions whatsoever for Molly? You have a question? They're here.
Oh,
they're coming on that side.
Thank goodness, I just got saved.
Sorry, Brianna. Brianna, you were looking out the wrong elevator. Oh yeah, we're ready. Hey, it's Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Woo!
How are you? Okay. Everybody have a seat. Look at this.
In the flesh.
Yeah, here we go.
Hello.
Want to introduce just a few people real quick. Beth flew in from, no, you drove from Portland this morning.
I'm Beth. Impressive.
And as soon as we're done here, she has to go back in time to pick up the kids. So we're good.
You left the kids?
She said they're fine. They'll fend for themselves.
We had you guys on the air with us like a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago. It was the day that Downtown dropped.
Yep.
Cool.
And I had asked you at that time, and I'm asking the same question now because obviously the album process is a little bit further along, but I said, when you guys are in the studio, who has final say-so? If you guys come to some sort of disagreement with the direction of the song, and Macklemore says, dude, we're still working on the album, why are you starting the song before you pick a fight? What are you doing?
You're starting with a heater right now.
Yeah, you've been going early.
Yeah.
No, the last interview too was like, damn.
That's not true.
Where's the back? How's your day going?
I am fascinated with two people that have been as successful as you've been for as long as you've been, how you're able to create the success you have and still maintain the partnership.
It's a different question. It's two questions.
But the first question, we had to bring in a third party.
Oh no. To settle the arguments? Who is
Yes.
it?
Mediator.
Sean Kemp. Sean comes in and
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying too.
listen to Ryan. Usually we just argue for a really long time and then we end up working more.
Have you ever gotten to a point where you've gone a couple days where you're like, I just need a break from you, I can't talk to you? Really? Days?
No,
Oh.
not me.
There we have.
You have.
One finds
It's
himself.
part of the process, though. I mean, this is what happens with groups.
So is the album done? Is it done? Are you still finessing?
Finessing.
Still?
That's the word. Finessing.
Okay.
Whose job is it to finesse?
Both?
Both
Yeah.
of us, yeah.
There's plenty of finessing to do.
When you guys collaborate, how often does Ed Sheeran, for instance, does he come here? Do you send the track and he records it wherever he happens to be, and then you critique from where you are, or is it all one big, you know?
In that particular case, we went to him. He happened to be in Denver. So we went to Denver and got in the studio with him. The less over the internet-ness you can do, the better, I think.
Why, you're afraid of like an iCloud hack? People are gonna find out?
Always, yeah,
Always.
terrifying.
God, that would be.
Who is it? No, music
just sending a song is just not the same as being in the studio. And,
Right, talk.
you know, to give feedback via email, like, I think that this part could be different versus like, hey, let's try this in the studio. It just,
Right.
Internet can quickly, email can be misconstrued and people get sensitive. And,
Is that a moment when you're working with Ed Sheeran where the females in your life are like, hey, can I come along for this business trip?
I don't know if my girl feels that way. I think I'm okay on that. I think if I was working with Jared Leto, she'd
It'd be
probably be like,
different.
That's real.
but Ed Sheeran, I think I'm okay. I hope. I don't know.
There's a lot of people who love Ed
No,
Sheeran.
he's a beautiful man. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know
Sexy
if
man.
my wife is attracted to him like that.
Okay.
Over the course of, especially the last couple of years, with now working on the next album, with the collaborations and people that you've met for the first time that you find out are fans of yours, and you're geeked out just in the beginning to meet them, and you realize that they're fans of yours or whatever, and then you change phone numbers. The first time they text you, you screen capture it, and you go, holy crap, check that, that's so-and-so.
No.
Come on!
No. You just try to be really public with a text. Like you have like the big iPhone and you hold it out. And you do one of those, but
Well,
no.
Did you see, like a couple days ago, Adele came out and she was like, Downtown is my favorite music video I've
That was
ever
cool.
seen. Like, that's pretty rad.
That's, you know, you don't expect Adele to say something.
I wanted to tweet it, I didn't, but I wanted to.
When you see stuff like so it's never you get close or you want to retweet it or you want to share it or something like that. And the reason I asked is because it was like a month or so ago, Keith Urban had tweeted out something about Demi Lovato's "Cool for the Summer" being like his favorite song, and she retweeted it. Was like, oh my god! It's like, no man, be cool. You're both celebrities.
Right. I mean, it's less about like being cool. I think that was a great honor. I'm a huge Adele fan. Yeah, I think that she's like gonna go down in history as like a classic artist. She has one of the greatest voices of our generation. That's awesome. But I don't need to let everyone know that she said that. It's like if they see it, they see it. That's great. And you saw it.
I saw it.
Boom!
I also saw you take a picture with Justin Bieber. Do you have Justin Bieber's cell phone number in your phone?
No. I didn't feel it was necessary to go there. It would have just been strictly for the ego.
Okay.
I don't think I'm texting JB on the reg, but yeah. And I took a picture of him and Eric Nally, who sings on Downtown.
That was amazing.
Which this whole story
The level
was
of
incredible.
fan Justin Bieber is for Eric Nally was mind-boggling.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he walks up to, I never met him before.
He walked right past me.
He walks past Ryan, through Ryan. And he's like, what's up, man? To me, he's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, kill it, like, positive. And then he gets to Eric behind us, and he's like, dude, I am such a huge fan. Like, the knee drop thing that you do, how do you do that? And the whole night, he kept turning around in his seat at the EMAs.
We were like 20 seats down.
And he would turn back and look at Eric and do a heart sign and mouth, I love you. It's pretty incredible.
So Brian, does it bug you in situations like that when someone will walk past and go straight to Ben, or you like being behind the scenes?
You were pissed.
I was so mad. Gosh. No, I think it doesn't bug me. I think maybe like really early on when you're adapting to this whole thing kind of to begin with, that was part of adapting. But, you know, I can also walk around most places as a random schmo, which is great. And you have a harder time with that.
Like, what do you do here in town? Can you go to the grocery store?
Yes. Seattle's actually one of the better places for me.
It's true.
Because I think people expect to see me here versus places where they don't expect to see me. They can get more intense. But yeah, I think people acknowledge me a lot. There's of course pictures, but it's chill.
Is it different now having a daughter and like being around, walking around with your daughter? Does it bug you then when people come up to you?
It bug me, no. It's all in the approach.
Yeah.
I think that there's like, if people come up just like, hey yo man, let me get a pic, before asking really or don't ask, it can be a little off-putting with my daughter, but people are for the most part really respectful.
It's weird over the course of the last several years of watching you guys just completely take off and then hit the stratosphere. A couple of years ago, and I think I told you this already, but a couple of years ago, I went back east to see my dad, and I hit the Jersey Shore, and I'm on the boardwalk, and I see a guy wearing a Macklemore and Ryan Lewis t-shirt, and it was weird because it was like tuning into a New York or Philadelphia radio station and hearing you guys, and you become very protective. That was one of those where you go, hey, wait a second, that's weird. That's like from home.
Yeah.
When the first time you guys, I mean, because again, to the rest of the world, you guys exploded, but here, it's been a long time coming.
Right.
But when you guys travel and you see yourselves in a t-shirt or whatever, or you hear yourself on the radio someplace else, I'm assuming at this point that's now all happened. At what point that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, it still is.
It still is?
It still is cool. I think that after the first record came out, traveling, doing a world tour and traveling internationally in particular, and going to places you've never gone before, and a lot of cultures that are really different from here, and still having your music impact and get shared with people is probably like the peak of that sort of like weird feeling where it's like classic places that you have your own romanticized rapport with, like a Paris or something like that, where you don't go to Paris like, and Macklemore and Ryan Lewis will be in Paris, it's Paris. And so I think when you see your music getting shared, far-reaching, it was weird and exciting, for sure.
You guys have a show coming up in January at the Grand Ole Opry. Is that right? Do I have that right? In Nashville. That's like, no?
Like, I don't know.
Is that
Yes.
right?
You
Is
do.
that right? I
You
swear.
do.
You are absolutely right.
I can't wait for that
And you
show.
know, it's just weird because it's Ryan Lewis Macklemore at the Grand Ole Opry.
It's crazy. Lifelong goal.
All right.
Bucket list.
I just thought that was weird. You don't see that kind of stuff
No,
on
we're
tour.
doing, we're doing a lot of cool historic theaters and a lot of really cool venues in some markets that we didn't hit last time to kind of start out, and that's one of them.
Well, it's different. You're not doing an arena tour this time around. Why?
Well, to not speak too much to it, I think that we want to start out with some theaters, get back into it, and then
who knows?
and then the year will continue.
Oh, who knows, Seattle?
The year will continue. Yeah, the year will continue, Seattle. Seattle's pissed.
Yeah, I was when I saw that. I'm like, where's the Seattle show?
Just trust.
Okay.
Great
Just
question.
trust.
In the studio, that's how loud she got. It was really weird when you
Yeah.
were
I
announced.
was pissed.
No, people are angry on Twitter. Chill out, Twitter. We would definitely never, ever put out an album and not play our hometown.
Okay, I have another question. It's going to split the two of you up as far as perhaps your feelings on stuff. As you guys have been independent proudly since the beginning, was there ever a disagreement between the two of you that you should actually sign a deal?
No.
No.
Will that ever happen?
No.
No.
Signing a deal?
With a label.
Oh. It's not on the plans.
Not now. You don't need them now.
I mean,
No.
you have to
But
take
I mean, when you were in the beginning.
Yeah, you have to take in mind it didn't. It's not like either of us woke up one day like independent. We're not doing anything. Like, I think that 6 months, 7 months, 8 months before the album, we were going to record labels. We were exploring all of our options. We were trying to get meetings. We were trying to look for the fair deal that I think any musician would aspire to when you hit a certain level. You get signed. And none of it made any sense. So we put out the album, and then of course after you put out the album, a lot of them come back and are wanting to collaborate in a different way. But I think that that the trajectory of how it went, it wasn't like before the album came out we were like, this is the only way that we can do it. Like there was no good options. They were bad deals. And then after the album came out, it was like, we can do this on our own. And you learned that more and more and more incrementally as it went on. And it's way more responsibility. It's way, way, way more to do that you're signing up for. But I would say at this point, I wouldn't anticipate seeking out that infrastructure after we've kind of already built what very much runs like a label.
Okay. I will keep you with the momentum as you're just now talking and you own the floor right now. And it's going to completely change gears. Your 30-30 project.
Yeah.
With Charlie Sheen coming out this week,
Mhm.
and now HIV being, it's not never out of the mainstream, but with it being as high profile as it is right now, what does that do for your project?
Well, I think it brings HIV/AIDS back into public conversation when somebody of that stature comes out and says that they're infected. I think for the AIDS community, whenever there's a celebrity or somebody who's very well known sharing that they're infected, that's a big deal. That's somebody else kind of at the forefront of the community.
Do you want to explain what your 30-30 project is?
Yeah, 3030 Project is a organization that really was my mom's idea, and then I expanded and made it big and busy and challenging. But the idea was basically to go to places with high HIV/AIDS, high non-life-threatening illnesses, tuberculosis, malaria, specifically places that need infrastructure, that pre-existing kind of nonprofits are working there, like a Partners in Health or something like that, but they're essentially lacking buildings, lacking clinics, lacking hospitals, lacking the infrastructure where people can go to receive care, where people are walking hundreds and hundreds of miles to get to the nearest clinic, and nonprofits are offering healthcare basically out of buses and places like that. So the idea was when my mom is HIV positive, so when she came up on the 30-year mark of having survived infected, which was not in the cards, and a huge surprise to her whole family. In commemorating that, we kind of had this more narrowly focused initiative to build that infrastructure.
Fantastic. Again, the website is 3030project.org.
Correct.
You go check all that out. Do we still have time? I want to make sure, because I completely lost track of time as to how much time we have before we do. We do? Yes, we still? Yes, that's, or no? We do.
Can we talk about your performance at the AMAs on Sunday?
Ooh.
Do you know that you're performing at the AMAs on Sunday?
I didn't know that.
this. Okay.
I wasn't saying I was going to go to Grand Ole Opry next, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we're doing a new song. Yeah. So I'm excited. We're rehearsing today at 7. I know that too.
Here in town, or are you flying out?
Here in town.
Here in town. Yep.
When you guys are putting together the new album, and you have, I'm assuming, your pick of who you want to collaborate with. I'm assuming you have more people reaching out to you than you have reaching out. But do you have, like, Mary Lambert or Ray Dalton or Wands reaching out to you saying, hey, I'm available for the next one too?
I think, and what's been exciting to see with Mary or Ray or people, all of them, I think, since the album have very much pursued their own careers, gone on tours, been on substantial records that have done very well. So I wouldn't say that they're coming back like, yeah, let's do this again. That they sort of took the ball with their own sort of brand. That's pretty cool.
Who was the, yeah, I don't want to ruin anything because the album's not coming out yet.